This episode isn't Halloween related, but considering that Disney aired this Hailey's on it in the same time as the other Halloween episodes that they were airing from other shows, it's really clear that they wanted to showcase the corn-maze being October related, since I did went through a corn-maze last year, and doing this review is honestly the best idea, but that also explains onto why this is one of the first videos of Halloween Mania 2. The plot of the episode is that Hailey wants to go to the corn maze, but not with Scott, since that he is terrible at mazes, no matter what type they are. With Hailey on her own, with the assistance of Beta by her side, they encountered the Scarecrow, and after taking a shortcut, they ended up getting lost in the corn maze. Even more worse than what Scott went through, since that he manages to get out of the corn maze on his own with the help with his sibling Becca, which this is the first time I'm ever mentioning him, and after going into his character when it comes to another character from this season, be prepared for what I have in store for next year's schedule, but again, not spoiling it. And it has nothing to do with Halloween. This episode's premise of the characters going through a corn maze is really relatable, because the first ever corn maze that I went through was back in 2017, and I didn't enjoy it. And that was around the time where I wasn't really into the spirit of Halloween, but at the same time, that also took place in September, which, with this episode coming out in September of last year, it's not really a bad thing, considering that corn mazes probably happened before September. But when it comes to the motivations of what Hailey is doing in order to succeed her goal, believe me, I can instantly relate to her when it comes to the final episodes, even though by the time of this recording, I still didn't watch the final episode. But with each episode that passes, it does increase Hailey's development when it comes to her feelings towards Scott. Since that she is lost inside of the corn maze with no way out, she was preparing to make a video of her, judging of how that Hailey just threw the phone away in order to destroy it before Scott gets a chance to watch it from beginning to end. It kind of shows that they're building up Scott's development in the final episode, even though that he is completely oblivious of what is really happening. Which, the point of view of Scott sums up that he can't be able to think clearly, and Hailey just accepts it no matter what, but at the same time, knowing how they're building all this up for Hailey's development that also leads to Scott's development later on, there was a lot of build-up when it comes to literally every character, and they didn't make Scott a character that is two-dimensional. Because through the majority of this season, when it comes to the episodes I've watched, Scott really feels two-dimensional in comparison to Hailey. The gimmick of him being really dumb while not making the best decisions in comparison to Hailey most of the time, the build-up towards the end really made it worthwhile, to the point that the people who worked on the show clearly know what they're doing when it comes to the characters. A new show is good, but at the same time, the impressions that you get are always going to be mixed, even though it's not going to be always positive. I would say a lot about this episode, but to tell you the truth, for a corn maze just being mostly a corn maze where the characters get lost, Disney literally advertised this as a Halloween episode by releasing the trailer of it on their YouTube channel, and I really hope that this isn't them saying that this is gonna be the end of this show when it comes to saying this as a Halloween episode, because that shouldn't be the case. And even though that was last year, and it was last year, but let's be totally real, there are horror aspects when it comes to the signal that Hailey did in order to get the attention, in order to be saved from getting lost in the corn maze, and the light, the purple light that's coming her and Beta's way is considered horror related, but that's it. Even though it led to Hailey doing something smart when it came to her accidentally swapping her foods with her mother's, when it comes to the equipment, being in her mother's lunchbox in order to get the signal for the attention of the farmer, Scott, and Becca, it doesn't change the fact that this is basically the only thing we're gonna get horror related, and even if it may be a lot more serious, it just feels like that this is just basically a cop-out for something else in order to be Halloween related, even though that if people watch this episode when it aired, they can tell that it wasn't really Halloween related, despite the corn maze being an October or September thing, or both. But at the same time, it didn't ruin the episode itself. The episode itself is good for what it is when it comes to the corn maze and Hailey and Beta getting lost, which is the irony of them getting lost in comparison to Scott in this scenario, especially since they still need to do that thing by doing the corn maze, which is part of Hailey's list, which kind of makes this episode a waste of time, but it's not the worst time wasters than any other episode that we've seen from any other cartoon. While my binge watch of this show is gonna be slow as usual, I will admit that I'm still enjoying the episodes upon watching them, and I am planning on reviewing the final episode of the season when I get the chance. Just keep in mind, just because I'm binge watching shows slowly, that doesn't automatically mean that I'm not enjoying the shows completely. I'm still enjoying the shows, it's just that my binge watch has becoming slower and slower to the point that it's getting into new cartoons, while people really want originality, is mostly becoming a difficult task in order to overcome the quality at the end, which some people may not realize it, but when it comes to people like me, they probably are. I'm giving this episode a 7.25 out of 10.